will my photo engrave okay has to be the most common question that I get asked by all of you before you order. So I thought I would do a video to show you some examples of good photos to upload and terrible photos to upload. They're not my photos, they're just photos that I found on Google to kind of give you a better example of what I'm talking about. So I'll go ahead and show you an example of some good photos first. So this photo is absolutely fine to engrave because the couple have their heads close together. There's no massive shadows over their faces, and I can crop this to their head. So it doesn't matter that it's full length because I can crop this and you can see their facial features fine. I mean, there's a little bit of a shadow here, but I can brighten that and edit that myself before I engrave that. So this photo would be absolutely fine to engrave. This photo would also be fine to engrave because it's very detailed. The face isn't too shadowed, it's clear, and I can literally just engrave the face on this. This would actually engrave really, really well, this photo. Again, this photo would be fine to engrave, even though you can see it's a little bit pixelated when you zoom in. Engraving wise, this would be fine. It's clear. There's not all shadows over the face, and I can I'll get rid of the background and crop all of that out, and I can just crop into the detail of the face, neck, and a little bit of the shoulders. Now, I don't like engraving group photos because they're an absolute nightmare. I normally have to edit everyone and move everyone around, move everyone closer together to fit them all in. And it's kind of hard to show you this one. I'll have to like crouch right down. But as you can see on this one, they're all close together. So all their heads are close together. So I can probably fit all of those into the engraving because their heads are so close together. I'm going to show you a bad example of a group photo to upload, which is an absolute nightmare for me, to be honest, so I'll show you. So something like this, that is just pretty much impossible to engrave, because if you imagine you've got, say, a heart pendant, you're not going to fit all of these people within that heart unless you zoom right out, and you're not going to get any detail. I'm not going to be able to fit everyone in. I would not be able to engrave this photo. It would be an absolute nightmare. It's so much easier if you do a group photo if everyone is very close together, which if you have professional photos done, so when I do photo shoots myself, you don't take portraits of everyone in a long line. You usually have like the tallest at the back, and you make kind of like a triangle kind of shape where you'll fit everybody close together. Those photos are generally not too bad to engrave, but ones like this are just virtually impossible. So I'll usually say to you, I can't engrave this, it's way too many people. Okay, so moving on to the photos that would be awful to engrave, this would be one. Even though it's a lovely photo, I can't engrave this because these shadows here are literally just going to show as black on the image. So when I engrave this, you'll see this part and these parts very clear, but this is going to be so dark and black and shadowed. I mean, a lot of the time before I reject the photo, I will brighten it myself a lot and edit it to see how much of the skin and the face and the features I can actually engrave without having to bother you with changing the photo. But to be honest, in this case, this would just be way too dark. So when you've got images of people in direct sunlight, where half their face is shadowed or they've got shadow, especially around the eyes, when I engrave that, the eyes are just going to look black. They're not going to look that great. I can usually brighten them quite a bit, but if you want the perfect photo engraving, it's best to just upload a photo that doesn't have shadows all over the face or all over the eyes. Okay, so this isn't a bad photo, but as you can see the height difference there, if you imagine I'm trying to engrave that on a heart like this, to fit them both in, it's going to cut off some of her head. So what I have to do in these cases is I have to take this person and move them up, which most of the time can work, but some of the times it just looks odd, doesn't look great. So it'd be a lot easier if these two were sitting down and had a photo side by side with their heads the same height. It makes it a lot more easier to edit and to engrave. So although it's not impossible to engrave this one, it's not the best sort of photo to upload either. It would be easier to have people side by side rather than standing at different heights. So again, I can engrave this image, but I wouldn't recommend uploading this image because half the lady's head's cut off. And when I engrave this, you're going to get that square shape in the engraving, especially when it's on a heart. It just looks really odd. And the guy's face is very shadowed here. So whilst I can brighten it as much as I can, you are still going to have shadows over the face here, which are going to show in the engraving. So this image would have been better if they were both face on to the camera. That would eliminate a lot of this shadow in here, and then obviously her head would be in the image as well. So this image isn't a good one to upload. So I've had a few of these uploaded, which I will engrave. I'll do my best to edit this part here, the shadow of her phone, but it will show in the image. It's not going to go entirely. So I usually advise against uploading these sort of images where you've got this dark shadow down this side of the face and body, because that will show in the engraving itself. Yeah, so I wouldn't advise this image either, really. Okay, and lastly, this image looks fine. I mean, I could engrave this. I'll crop the face here and engrave it. They're close to each other. The lighting is great. The only problem you're going to have is where that's so far away, it's probably going to be quite a pixelated image up close. But depending on how pixelated it was, I could probably engrave this one okay. It would just be easier if the camera was closer to them. But yeah, that's the last image that I'll show you. And I hope that's a bit more helpful with you deciding on what images to upload. I can understand why it would be difficult to work out what images you think you need to upload, and I think that can put some people off ordering. But I do actually have a check your photo service that you can do before you order. So on the website, there is a button on the homepage that says check your photo. You can upload as many images as you want on there. Put your email address and your name on there. I'll check the image and I'll let you know if it's going to engrave well, or which one out of all the images is the best one to upload. So you can check as many times as you want before you order. Not a problem at all. I'd much rather you upload a photo that's really good and that you're happy with. And I can engrave most of these images that I've shown you, but you're not going to get as good a result as you would do if you uploaded a better photo. So yeah, if you're in doubt, just shout and let me know. Any questions you've got, leave them in the comments or drop me a message or fill out the contact form on my website, and I'll be happy to advise you on the best photo to upload.